You stepped into the Jared Briggs Show. I help dreamers live bigger than their current realities, from stuck and hungry to a thriving business, family, and life. My mission is to help you thrive in your own life. You guys, today we are going to talk about how your life is what you make of it. So let's lock in and level up. Ladies and gentlemen, this topic comes from just living everyday life, having conversations. I'm constantly looking to put myself in opportunities to meet new people, have conversations, and learn and grow. I found out around 2013 to 2015, a real big way that I learn is through conversation. And I learned this while serving a mission for my church back in South Carolina and literally spending every single day teaching people about Jesus Christ. But at the same time, you guys, I was looking to develop myself. I had a lot of goals and dreams and things that I wanted to accomplish. And so I said, hey, while I'm here for 2 years, I'm also going to develop myself and work on myself. While I was doing this, I found out very quickly that a lot of the times answers that I would get, that I was searching, whether it be through study, whether it be for about myself, whether it be about knowledge and information, it didn't matter. There would be a lot of times where I'd be having a conversation and I would just have this huge aha moment from something somebody else said. And I found that to be very influential in my life. And I've taken that and I use it as leverage to learn from other people. So I'm constantly looking for opportunities to meet new people, spend time with people, have conversations with people. And I get sick of the surface level kind of stuff. Like I want to dive deep. I want to really get into a conversation of the juicy stuff, the nitty gritty, like real life stuff. When you ask somebody, how are you? And they're like, oh, I'm good, just living life. I'm like, I don't care. Like, how are you really? That's the stuff that I want to get into. So I constantly am trying to do that. I'm constantly trying to better my people skills and understand people. And so this topic of your life is what you make of it comes from some conversations that I've had here recently that honestly have disappointed me in people. Like 100% honest, you guys, people that I've looked up to in my life. And now I look at it and I'm like, gosh, dang, maybe they're just going through a slump or a low point. But that wasn't what it used to be. And so I want to talk about this being a massive problem. And the problem are people are down and negative and always have a reason why it won't work. Every single time, you guys. I've heard this excuse so many flipping times now in the last couple of months that there's not enough time in a day. There's not enough time in a week. There's not enough time in the morning. There's not enough time. There's not enough time. There's not enough time. There's not enough time. Well, guess what, everybody? You can look at that and be like, yeah, okay, yeah, there is only 24 hours in the day. You're going to sleep 8, 9, 10 of those, whatever you do. You're going to have this and this and this and this. So maybe you only do have a couple hours of production time. But I look at it from the perspective of, guess what, you guys? There are some people that have created a massive amount of success for them. And if I'm going to be 100% honest, you guys, I'm only looking for information that's going to help me become more successful. That's going to help me become a better father. That's going to help me become a better husband, a better leader, a better business owner, a better salesman, a better everything that I'm doing in my life. Like, I'm not here to waste time. I really struggle hanging out with people that aren't doing anything with their life. And so I sit here and I look at this, and a lot of the times having a conversation, I can just sit back and look at somebody and be like, I get why you're freaking struggling in life. Everything is everybody else's fault. Everything is else's fault. Or this situation, or that situation, or this problem. You guys, it is always there. But like I said at the beginning, you guys, there's been some people that have achieved massive, incredible things. I'm a big basketball fan. Look at Michael Jordan. Look at Kobe Bryant. Look at LeBron James. Look at Steph Curry. Look at Dwayne Wade. Look at Shaq. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Look at all of these people that have achieved massive things. They had wives. They had kids. They had businesses. A ton of people in the NBA are doing sponsorships. They own companies. They're investing their money that they're making in their craft. But that's just not that. There's golf. There's football. There's business. There's Jeff Bezos with Amazon. Look at all the people who founded Facebook. Look at all the people that founded Apple and all of these other companies. You guys, they're all freaking excuses. There is more than enough time. There is a more than enough resource. But this is one thing that keeps coming back in my head. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. That is one thing that I've looked at for this year. If I don't change things in 2025, if I don't change how I'm managing my time, if I don't change the things that I'm doing in my company, if I don't change the things that I truly want and desire, if I don't start exercising more and eating healthier, if I don't start doing any of those things, I'm not going to get any of the results that I desire. If I want to, currently my goal is to weigh 170 pounds, lean, shredded muscle, well, guess what? That takes specific workouts and specific food. If I don't do those things, I'm not going to get that result. If I do the exact same things in my company, I'm going to get the exact same results. Maybe I grow by $20,000, $25,000. Okay, maybe I grow a little bit. But really, are you truly achieving the things that you want in your life? I was having some conversations recently, and in my head, I just kept thinking, oh my gosh, dang, like, I can see why you're struggling. I can see why you're having a problem. You're making me feel cruddy. You're making me feel like, oh man, like life sucks right now. But in reality, it doesn't. It is dependent on the state of mind we are in. It is dependent on our outlook that we have. It is dependent on the way we see the world and what we believe is possible. You guys, everything is impossible until somebody proves it possible. I was just watching a movie with my wife the other night. We were watching, it's called 14 Peaks on Netflix. It goes along with the movie Everest that we just watched. And so this guy wanted to climb the top 14 peaks in 6 months, and everybody said it was impossible. And so he called the mission possible. Everybody said it was impossible, and he said it's mission possible. And he did it. Everybody for who knows how many years saying that this task was impossible. And he just literally changed his mindset to this is possible. What do we have to do to make it possible? And he just went and did it. Think about your own life. Think about how much you're selling yourself short. I really want to ask yourself these questions. I want you to think in the spectrum of my last podcast episodes where I talked about what we call the quad: faith, family, finance, and fitness. My friend Justin asked me these questions. He said, Jared, I just did this exercise. What would it look like? What would it sound like? What would it feel like? What would your life be like if you 10x'd your faith? If you 10x'd your family? If you 10x'd your finance? And you 10x'd your fitness? If you literally journaled about that and then you executed and took action on those things, what would your life look like if you 10x'd all of those areas? And I sat back and was like, holy freak, man. My life would look more like what it is that I want it to look like. I need to turn it up a gear. I need to really define what those things are. Now, I want to give you a little bit of an understanding. Faith isn't just your relationship with God. Faith is, we're talking about your relationship with yourself, your personal self, your scripture study, your reading, your journaling, your meditation, your peace with yourself, your love with yourself, your personal inner peace. That's what we're talking about with faith. Family, we're talking about all relationships, spouse, parents, everybody, also coworkers, business partners, friends, everybody that you spend time with. Finance is your career and also your finances. Fitness is what are you doing to take care of your body? And it's not just looking good in the mirror, it's being able to perform. So that's what we look at the quad. So I'm looking at this based on the notes that I took this. Your life is what you make of it. What if you got serious? What if you got very serious and just picked one topic? You guys, that whole faith, family, finance, fitness, it could be overwhelming. Maybe fitness is your weak point right now. What if you went 10x on your fitness? What would your life look like? What would you feel like? What would your energy level be like? What would your confidence within yourself be? Maybe you need to get your finances together. Maybe you need to get your home in order, your life in order, your career. Maybe you need to start that freaking business you've been thinking about for 20 years now. Or maybe you need to go make up a relationship. Or maybe you need to kick some people out of your life so that you open up new room for new people to enter your life. And maybe you need to sit down and have a true, honest review of yourself, and what you think about yourself, what you believe about yourself. Maybe you need to do a full life audit within yourself and figure out where you really are and where you want to go and what you need to do to get there. Okay, your life is 100% up to you. If you're out of shape, it's your fault. If you don't love yourself, if you don't respect yourself, if you feel like complete crap emotionally, spiritually, anxiety, stress, depression, all these things, guys, it's your fault. It is 100% your fault. If your financial life, your career, all those things, it's up to you. Your relationships are up to you. I had this realization many times now. Gosh, dang it, guys. But I constantly have to keep looking at my life and like, gosh, dang it, I need to step it up. I'm better than this. My wife deserves better. My kids deserve better. I deserve better. I know I have more inside of me. So I've been working on creating myself. It's called the 30-day explosion. And right now I'm testing this to see what it does for my life, because my friend and I are creating a journal, because I use a journal specifically. And we're creating it towards a full week. You do a weekly planning and then dive into it. And so I've been diving into this. What if I did a 30-day explosion? I do 100 push-ups every day. I move my body for 30 minutes, whether I go for a walk, lifting weights, running, biking, swimming, whatever type of exercise you enjoy doing. What if I read and studied for 30 minutes every day? Whatever it is that you want, whatever you are needing, you get to decide that. But read and study for 30 minutes. Don't just read 10 pages and close the book. Study. Maybe you only read one page, but you read that thing 3 times because it just hits you so good. And then journaling and writing and reading out my goals out loud every day. So journaling and goals, reading and studying, push-ups, and moving my body. What if I did those 4 things every day, can't go to bed until they're done, every day for 30 days? Yesterday, at the time of recording this, Tuesday, April 22nd, was day 1 of 30. And I literally finished my push-ups, went in the bathroom, brushed my teeth, and went to bed. That was how crazy the day went, even on those 4 things. But I went to bed, and I laid there, and I had a smile. Because I was like, I freaking did it. I did those 4 things that I said I was going to do today. People, that is the power that you can create with inside of yourself. That is why discipline and doing those things is important, because it builds confidence in yourself. And you need that. Okay? I want to share a little bit more of how to solve this problem where people are just completely living in the impossible. They're down and they're negative and they're always creating excuses. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to dream bigger, and you need to believe that it's possible. I've literally been looking at my life. I'm gonna share some real stuff right here, some real raw stuff. I've been looking at my life, and there's a lot of times I wake up and then I go to bed and it's like I wake up and it's Monday and I go to bed and it's Friday or Saturday night. Where did this week freaking go? Where did this week go? And it just keeps happening, and I'm sure maybe you guys are feeling the same way. I've literally been asking myself questions. How could I simplify my life? How could I simplify my life? How could I simplify my wife's life? How could I remove the tasks that aren't dire need important, but need to be done? And where could I leverage money or time in those areas? And you want to know the thing that just keeps coming up over and over and over? Before my son was born, there was a lady that would come to our house and clean our house once a month. It cost us $200 a month. And she would come and do a deep clean. And then we had our little boy, and then she had a baby, and that completely stopped. And I was looking at my life the other day, and in my wife and I's life, and I was like, holy crap, we need to find somebody again, because that simple little thing has added more stress and pressure and time that is overwhelming my wife and I, to where it's like, crap, now we've got to do those things. And I hate it. I do it because I want to be that type of a husband. I don't want to put all that pressure on my wife. I feel it's my duty to provide and protect, but then I need to help around the house too. And so there's some nights cleaning or doing laundry or any of those things, and I'm like, this is stupid. This makes us go to bed late. And so that is one thing that I look at. It's like, holy crap, that $200, are we really going to miss that $200? Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm sharing with you. You need to look at your life and make changes. Because if you don't make changes, 2025 is going to look the exact same as 2024. And who the freak wants to stay in the same spot? Maybe you do. This ain't for you guys. You need to get out of this podcast and leave. I am looking how to create the very best life possible. I do not want to be spending my time doing laundry. I do not want to be spending my time cleaning the house. I do not want to be spending the time doing the things that I don't enjoy doing. I would so much rather create a job or opportunity for somebody else to bless their life, for somebody to come in for a couple hours, pay them $150, $200, $300, whatever it costs, to bless their life, provide income into their family and their life and their goals and their dreams, so that I can buy back a little bit of a time for me and for my wife, so that we can spend our time on the things that are more important. I use that as an example of finding ways to solve your life, finding ways to improve your life. But you want to know the biggest problem that all of you are going to deal with while listening to this? You don't believe it's possible. You're worried about the judgment of others. You're worried about if somebody's like, you have enough money to hire somebody to come in your house? So freaking what? Everybody should be striving for that. Everybody should be striving to better themselves and create the very best possible life they can. Because do you want to spend your time doing those things, or would you rather spend it playing with your kids? My wife and I have a conversation about this all the time, you guys. It is so much easier to increase your income than it is to find ways to save. So again, I'm going to share, you need to dream bigger, and you need to believe it's possible. And then you need to quit all of this crap of being down and negative. You need to find some way to pump into you possibility, inspiration, motivation, joy, happiness, love, gratitude, all of these good things. Find ways to inject that into your life every single chance you can. And I'm going to give you this. You need to read a book or listen to something that will elevate your mindset, that will elevate who you are, that will elevate your possibility within yourself, because you have greatness inside of you. You wouldn't be listening to this if you didn't believe it. You wouldn't be listening to this if you didn't desire a better life. That is literally the purpose of why I'm putting this out. My mission is to help you thrive in your own life. And the reason why you're here listening is because you're wanting to find some tip, some trick to improving, to make more money, to have a better life, to find more joy, to find better happiness, to have better relationships, to actually start that business you want to start, or improve in the career that you're in. It doesn't matter what you're looking for. You're looking to just better your life. But you can listen to this crap until your ears bleed, and you can talk about it till you're blue in the face. But until you start taking action, actual action, you're not going to see any changes. And guess what? That's going to take a massive amount of courage. You're going to have to jump off that cliff and build the stairs below. So many people are scared to jump. Guess what? Jump. Make that jump and start building. Make the jump and start building. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, your life is what you make of it. 100%. What you think about, what you believe, what you spend your time doing, everything you're dealing with and going through right now is 100% up to you. You're doing. Doesn't matter your upbringing. I used to blame a lot on my upbringing. I used to be frustrated, like, oh man, I wish I would have been taught this or taught this and done this and done. No, it's up to me, okay? My life is 100% up to me. And that's why I started taking action on this podcast, you guys. I love this, and this is what I want to do. And so I finally decided, you know what? I'm not going to build what it is that I truly want to build if I don't start doing it. So I'm going to do it in every form and fashion and way that I can. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's lock in and let's level up. You guys, your life is 100% up to you. So go be the master of your life and take action.